Welcome to 302 Sports Weekly. I am your host, Benny Pinella, alongside Pat Garianis. Pat, how you doing tonight, bud?
Feeling good, Ben. We got a couple youngsters in the house, a couple coaches. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. An exciting week once again in the state of Delaware, high school sports.
Previewing our Spotlight Game of the Week, Dover versus Polytech. We'll get to that in a second. We also talk volleyball, soccer, field hockey, and as we said, football in the state of Delaware high school sports. But first, we want to thank Gary and Nick from Hooters. Of course, they allow us to have this show here weekly, every single week. Come out to Hooters of Newark, located at 136 the Astro Shopping Center. Support them and enjoy some of their delicious wings. Great place to take in a game as well.
Fantastic place to take in a game like tonight. We're trusting the process, watching the Sixers once again. Listen, we're live here every Wednesday, 7 o'clock p.m. And this is important here. This is really important because we're trying to get this off the ground floor here. If you have any highlights, scores, stats, or any other information, please contact the show at 302sports@gmail.com or go to the website 302sports.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at 302sports. On Twitter, of course, we have the weekly poll question. Give us stuff, all right? Be interactive. It's a good thing for the show, good thing for everybody around. And then follow us on Snapchat, sports_302. Come to the show here once again, live here at Hooters of Newark, located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Benny.
We are your source for Delaware high school sports. All right, get down to Down and Dirty. We are joined by Jason Winchell. Jason, thank you very much.
Hey, Benny, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How you doing?
Good.
And making his on-camera debut, the man behind everything here. It's Nick Alessandrini. Nick, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Ready to talk some Delaware high school sports?
Yeah, ready to go.
Let's get into it. We have field hockey now. Looking at the top 10. There's a lot to go through here. A lot to break down. Lots to digest in Division 2. Del Mar remaining at number 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. Really not a lot of changes with Archmere jumping up. Bottom half, again, much of the same. Things look like they're settling in, Jason.
Yeah, you can tell it's getting close to the end of the season as everything's kind of settling in. Del Mar is still the team to beat, man. They are crushing people. They got a couple 11-0 victories last week. They're just playing some of the best field hockey I've ever seen right now.
Yeah, you look at some of the scores. Obviously, we don't have any of those big-time scores, but Caravel defeating Ursuline 2-1. Mount Pleasant, Middletown playing to a 1-1 tie. Tower Hill 5, St. Andrews 0, Lake Forest 2, Polytech 1. You're looking at this. It looks like it's a two-team race, and Nick Allison Jr. we're going to throw you the fire here early. What do you think when you look at them rankings? Not much change going on, huh?
Sorry, say it again?
Not much change going on in the top 10, huh?
Nope, just the same what we've been seeing throughout all year. Del Mar, like you said, the team to beat, they look really good. Like Jason mentioned, 11-0. Every time you win a game 11-0, you're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
Especially in the world of field hockey where more often than not it's 1-0 games you're playing. Some upcoming matchups we have in the world of field hockey. We have turf or the turf Friday night at UD's Rulo Stadium. There will be 20 games over the weekend, including most of the top 10 playing. You can check that out, of course, on Friday night. All right, moving to Division 1, Cape Henlopen, as we said, Division 2 settling in there, Division 1 settling in there as well. But we do have a new team in the top 10. Moving in at number 5, Sussex Tech being bumped out, Wilmington Charter. What happened there, Jason? What happened for the switch?
Yeah, Charter kind of struggled last week, losing both times out. Sussex Tech was able to pick up a win over a ranked team to get themselves back in there. It's kind of been fluctuating at the bottom each week. One team will jump out, another team will jump in. But it seems like the top 5 are pretty much set between Polytech, Cape Henlopen, Padua, Middletown's up there. So there's some good teams in that top 5.
You look at it, Deuces were wild last week. Padua wins 2-0 over Ursuline. Cape Henlopen 2-0 over Woodbridge. Concord 2-0 over Conrad. And what we would call the Benny Pinella game because he struggles with those two schools. He gets confused every now and then. Sorry, Ben, had to do it to you. But a lot going on up here in Division 1 field hockey.
Yeah,
a lot going on in Division 1 field hockey. Look at some upcoming matchups. You have number 10 CR versus Cape Henlopen. Cape Henlopen then plays again Tuesday versus Smyrna, and Smyrna will play Middletown next Wednesday. So some interesting matchups there, Nick. Which one intrigues you the most?
I'm going to say Middletown at Smyrna, just because of Smyrna's going to be playing Cape earlier in the week, and I think we're going to see how they do against someone soon after that. Middletown 5, Smyrna 7, pretty close ranks there. I think it's going to be a pretty good game.
5 versus 7 matchups can always be very interesting. When we come back, you know what else is interesting? Soccer. It's on the Win X on 302 Sports Weekly. Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. I am Benny Pell alongside Pat Garianis. It's time to talk about men's soccer in the world of Delaware high school sports. Starting with Division II, again, not a lot of changes at the top. We do have one team jumping from 9 to 5. Jason, what is so good about Laurel and their 10-1 record?
Yeah, I told you I wanted to see them play when they played a team like St. Mark's, and they proved it by getting the victory in double overtime, making the trip up north. Never easy. They come in and they grabbed a 3-0 lead out of the gate. St. Mark's came back to tie it, but Laurel was able to pull it out in overtime, double overtime, and maybe they are as good as their 10-1 record indicates. They have some tough matchups coming up to close out the season. Let's see if they can stay hot and make a jump in the Division II state tournament.
Yeah, you look at some of the scores. Laurel, of course, beating St. Mark's in that double overtime game 5-4. St. Andrews defeating Tower Hill 2-0. That'd be 2-0. Gotta get your soccer terminology correct, Pat. And then Archmere defeating Conrad 3-1. And that double overtime game, Laurel defeats St. Mark's. I know, Nick, that's gotta be tough for your Spartans there a little bit, huh?
Oh yeah, real tough. Tough loss for Swayze and the boys. Yeah, and Spartans too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just got to get stuff together and rebound. It's always tough to lose, especially if you're going to lose in double overtime. But it really shows a lot about your team on how you're able to do next game.
Responding,
Well, some other shakeups in the top 10. We have Friends jumping in as an unranked team, bumping out Newark Charter. What happened there, Jason, the bottom half of the top 10?
Yeah, Friends had a good week. They won both their matches last week to jump back up into the top 10. Newark Charter struggled. They're in that tough Diamond State Conference, and you play teams like Archmere, Wilmington Charter, and other schools. It's not an easy chore, and they were just not able to get it done last week. But never count them out. In fact, I think they played St. Mark's yesterday and came away with the victory. So maybe they're going to make that jump back into the top 10 next week.
We will see. Looking ahead to this week, a couple key matchups coming up. Number 7, Archmere visits Newark Charter. That's Monday, 3:45. Number 1, Tower Hill visits number 8, Caravel, Monday at 6. And then number 5, Laura, looking to continue the hot start. They're going to get another test here, visiting number 3, Indian River, next Wednesday. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. What matchup intrigues you guys? Nick, Jason, which one of those 3 matchups intrigues you?
Mine is Laurel Indian River. That's for the Henlopen and South Championship right there. It's going to be a battle early and often in that game. Both teams like to score. Both teams can score a lot. So it's going to be whoever can score the most goals, I think, and that one's going to take it home. I expect like a 5-3 game, 6-3 game, something like that. So I think it's going to be real high scoring.
Of the three matches that Pat named, Nick, which one intrigues you the most?
I'm going to have to agree with Jason. I circled this one. And I think, especially after the winner of the Spartans, the way they launched themselves into the top 10, and now they're thrown right back into the Wolves going at Indian River. I think that's going to say a lot about Laurel as well, to see if they can maintain that high level of play.
Interesting things happen in Division II soccer. It's time to take a look at Division I, where no change-ups really in the top 10. Again, as we get later in the season, Jason, things just seem to kind of set themselves.
Yeah, it does. I got to give a shout out to Wilmington Charter, who was able to tie Appo last week 0-0.
Yes.
That's a good tie for Wilmington Charter. Is they're down near the bottom of the top 10, and they want to prove when the state tournament starts that they can compete with those guys. So that was a good showing by them. But like you said, the top was pretty much the top. The one change was Caesar Rodney defeating Cape and able to jump up to that third spot in the rankings, while Cape fell a couple spots.
Another team to keep an eye on here, they're surging. St. George's, 7 in a row they've won. Just keep an eye on them, Benny. Look at the scores from last week. Sally's defeats C. Milton Wright of Maryland 4-3. Like you said, Jason, Charter, Appoquinimink 0-0 tie. Caesar Rodney defeating Cape 3-0. A lot of intriguing matchups, and like we said, keep an eye on St. George's, Benny. I got a feeling. Keep an eye on them. They're surging right now, 7 in a row.
Some interesting things happen. Looking at some of the key matchups, we have William Penn and Caesar Rodney, Kingsway versus Salesianum. Interesting out-of-state game for Salesianum.
Yep.
And Division I versus Division II, of course, Charter versus Indian River. When we come back, we have volleyball up next on 302 Sports Weekly.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com. The Hadley Group is your local real estate. Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night to watch your favorite teams and sports on our many TVs. It's a great, fun-filled environment that is kid-friendly. Our craveable food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings, which are the official wings of 302sports.com.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. I'm Benny Pinella alongside Pat Garianis.
It's good. It's going smooth here, Benny. We got a lot to talk about, and we're going to get into some another milestone made. We're going to find out about it right
Seems
now.
like every week in volleyball, there's just another milestone being made.
It is.
It's time to talk about it. Volleyball, the top 10. As Jason, everything pretty much settling in. Caravel 10, 9 is Conrad, Patnell, Redline, Archmere, Wilmington Charter, Spartans at 4. Gotta enjoy that, Nick.
I like that.
Tower Hill, Ursuline, and Padua. They round out the top 3. Which one of those top 3 kind of scares you the most in terms of a team that potentially can win the championship?
I gotta go Padua right now. They're just dominating all their opponents. We did their game last week against Archmere, and they just were able to sweep out the Alts. And then last night I caught the last set after the Goldie game, and they swept out the Spartans. To another team, the 4th-ranked team. They just made easy work out of them. So Padua was the team to watch. They got the height, they got the defense, they got the Emily Jerome and Emma Lucy, and a bunch of good seniors, but they also have some young talent. So it's the perfect blend of a team, I think.
And it's rare. You see it this week in volleyball. There was zero movement in the top 10. It doesn't happen very often. Speaking of out of the top 10, how do you like that segue? Wasn't not bad. It wasn't for a rookie.
As a segue master, I'll tip my hat to you.
Out of the top 10, we got to mention this. Year milestones, like we've been talking about in girls volleyball, it continues. Is Cape Henlopen senior Logan Shuttleworth hit the 1,000 assist mark. We at 302 Sports would like to recognize her on a great accomplishment. She was able to accomplish this milestone 3 years, guys. She's only a junior. Okay, we've seen these 1,000 totals come up throughout the season. This is just another one to add to the list.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, Pat. She is a very good volleyball player, and she's only going to grow into that position. She's doing a wonderful job down there as the southern teams try to get into that volleyball mode. We see that it's pretty northern part of the state that dominates in volleyball. Well, Cape Henlopen, Smyrna, Cesar Rodney, some of those schools are going to bring it back down state. They're starting to get the memo down there.
I misspoke. She is a senior, but a 3-year varsity player.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where I misspoke. So, yeah.
It's still impressive either way. Looking at some other scores, Padua sweeping Archmere, Tower Hill sweeping Tatnall, and 3-1 scores, Red Lion beating Conrad, and Ursuline beating Wilmington Charter. Nick, I go to you with this one. Delaware's become a wealth of volleyball and a lot of very talented teams, but outside the top 3, of course, we mentioned Tower Hill, Ursuline, Padua. Is there any other team looking 4th, 10 that kind of could possibly make a run?
Well, about making a run later, I'm not sure, but right now I've kind of got my eye on a team outside the top 10, and that team is DMA. TMA started the season not that great, 1-6-1 to start, but then they piled on 5 straight wins, and then they're looking for their 6th tomorrow night on a huge night for them as number 7 Red Lion comes to town, and it's senior night, and they're opening up the Dome tomorrow night.
Oh yeah.
And it's a chance for them to show that maybe they belong in the top 10.
That dome's impressive, isn't it?
That is. It's impressive, and if you can get out there tomorrow night, go out there. That's hold about 750 people now. It's an upgrade. It's an upgrade from that cafeteria they were playing in. So that's a good improvement there from DMA, and I'm with Nick. I expect great things from them. They struggled out of the gate. They're starting to get it going at the right time as they near the tournament. Another team to keep your eye on outside the top 10 is Delmarva Christensen. In fact, our volleyball guru, Mike Lang, has Delmarva Christensen seated 3rd if the tournament started today. So all those teams, nowhere inside the top 10, but he said if the tournament started today, they would be the 3 seed, ahead of Ursuline and St. Mark's.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Well, that's one thing to keep in mind here, Benny, Jason, Nick. This is the last regular season rankings for volleyball as the state tournament begins on Thursday, November 2nd. We're coming close to it. Mike will have updated his point index after Tuesday's matches. So next week we might get some playoff power rankings before the brackets released.
Yes, yeah.
Well, you talk about a playoff matchup. We're getting one. The final regular season match is going to be Ursuline versus St. Mark's on Saturday. Very interesting game here, 2 versus 4. Caravel, the number 10 team, will take on the number 3 team in Tower Hill. Padua faces Ursuline, of course. Nick mentioned it. Opening the Dome, DMA will host Red Lion. When we come back, we will bring you Delaware High School football and recap last week's Spotlight Game of the Week. Don't go anywhere. It's 302 Sports Weekly.
He began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. Mr. Italian began his career in home finance. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique Image, you envision, we create.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley. Cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. It is time to recap last week's Spotlight Game of the Week, DMA versus St. Mark's.
Yeah, it was a good one. A big-time Division II matchup in high school football. Both teams came into the game 5-1, both in the top 10. Playoff implications, the points involved in this one, and it did not disappoint. I can tell you that, Benny. It was a close game, came right down to the wire, and we're going to hop right into the highlights right now. So here we go. Early on in this one, it's Andrew Watkins from St. Mark's, 1-yard touchdown run. The Spartans jump up early in this one. Watkins pumped up. Extra point, however, was no good. 6-0. Your alma mater jumping out to the early lead. Now we move to 4:40 left in the first, and it's Karan Aline. We got to get used to seeing this one, ladies and gents. 21-yard touchdown run. His first of, get this, 5 touchdowns on the night for Karan Aline. He was all over the place. 7-6, DMA converts the extra point. Now, a little over a minute left in the first quarter. It's Ian Noonan. Look at the Jets. Look at him go. Number 5 in white, high-stepping. He's high-stepping into the end zone here. 80-yard touchdown. The Spartans retake the lead. Actually, no, they get the 2-point conversion right here. You're going to see it right here. The 2-point conversion by Watkins is going to make it 14-7. You see the celebration there by the Spartans. 14-7, St. Mark's on top. Still high scoring first quarter, minute 43 to go. And once again, it's number 1 in blue, Karan Aline, fighting his way into the end zone. Touchdown. Second on the night. Extra point will go through. 14-14. You're thinking, oh, that's got to be it. There's only a minute and a half left. First quarter's got to be done scoring-wise, right? Not so fast, my friends. 31 seconds left, and it is in the second quarter. I apologize. Right before halftime, Andrew Watkins takes it in from the 5, touchdown. 21-14. Your score. St. Mark's scores right before the half. 21-14. Spartans on top. They got to be feeling good about themselves, right?
Oh, yeah.
All you got to do is just get this one over with. Nah, man. Halftime adjustments are a big thing in football, and DMA made sure they made them. 10-11 remaining in the third. It's Karan Aline once again. Get used to hearing this young man's name. 17 yards out for the touchdown. 21-21 on Aline's third touchdown of the night. Can anybody in Division II stop this man? That's the question right now. And once again, he takes a direct snap here, scampers 8 yards for the score. This is with 31 seconds left in the third quarter, Benny. 27-21. They take the lead. It's unbelievable. Extra point was no good. 27-21. You see the momentum starting to roll here DMA's way. St. Mark's has got to figure something out fast. Can't do it. Karan Aline takes a direct snap, runs it in now. Look at this one. This was 16 yards out for a touchdown. We called it. We said it was winning time, and it was. 33-21. They take the lead. Get the 2-point conversion is no good. So 33-21. DMA goes on top to bring us to our final. They then run the ball out for a few failed possessions from St. Mark's. DMA would get the ball back 8 seconds. They would just, take the knee, run the clock out, and bring us to our final. 33-21, DMA defeating the Spartans. DMA's defense came up huge in the second half, shutting out St. Mark's after giving up 21 first half points. I know, guys, you look over there like your puppy just got taken from you. It's
Hello,
a tough
darkness,
loss.
my old friends.
It is a tough loss, but we gotta be real here. DMA is legit.
Yes, DMA is a good team.
They are legit, and it's good. They're going to be a dangerous team come playoff time. And St. Mark's, they can recover very easily. I mean, they're 5-2. They still got a chance to make a run at this thing. They were right there with them. It's just second half, DMA took advantage of them.
Yeah, DMA made the proper halftime adjustments.
Yep.
And did a good job shutting out. St. Mark's had that running game going in the first half.
They did.
They
Watkins was all over
dominated.
the
Yeah,
place.
Watkins and Noonan were all over DMA in that first half. The second half, I don't think they mustered one first down running the ball. It was through the air that they got their couple first downs. So you got to give DMA credit. They stopped the run when they needed to.
And DMA, of course, our second team ranked in our top 10, as we flash that on the screen for you there. Friends, of course, number 1. Not a lot of shakeups. No teams getting bumped out, but we do have Milford moving up following their big upset win a couple weeks ago against Woodbridge. They've seen really put it together, Jason.
Yeah, and last week they were able to beat Division I foe Cape Henlopen, which later you'll see it helped them in their playoff projections, able to make that with that 6-point win over a Division I team. So they're getting hot at the right time, Milford. But it seems like the best teams are in the Henlopen South this year, so watch out for that conference.
So you see Milford, they get the win 28-27 over Cape Henlopen. Woodbridge shuts out Lake 35-0. Howard defeats AI. Sorry to hate to do this to you, Nick Hall. See you in the audience. AI DuPont goes down with their first loss of the season, 36-20 to Howard. Now, we can talk about that, Jason, but I want to go back to DMA. How close are they to surpassing Friends for that number 1 ranking? Because they've been playing really good football lately.
They have. They're really close
Yeah.
with that. The DMA's got some impressive wins, whereas Friends had impressive wins early.
Yeah.
But their schedules got kind of a little weak, the last few weeks. And DMA has some good quality wins. I like to use the word quality because St. Mark's is a quality team. They beat Milford.
Yeah.
Quality team. So
And they got a quality loss. Let's be real. Hodson's the real deal, too.
yeah, and when you'll see the Division I rankings, Hudson keeps on continuing making the move up those rankings. So, yeah, I'm really impressed with DMA, and I think they might catch Friends before the end of the season. They keep on winning.
Nick, I go to you to this one. Okay, we talked about DMA, we talked about Friends. Caravel number 3 over Woodbridge. It's interesting they put in there, but is Woodbridge a team that you still have to keep an eye on?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw them play with a huge win over Friends earlier in the year.
Yep.
And this week is going to be a huge game for them again, or an even bigger game, in my opinion, for St. Mark's, as they travel to Woodbridge, coming off that loss to DMA on the road last week. So it's going to be a big test for St. Mark's as well to see how they can, they can rebound. It's going to be a big game, and they need to rebound. But Woodbridge, you saw after the loss to Milford, huge rebound this week, 35-0. So they'll be ready for St. Mark's when they come to town this weekend. I'll tell you that.
Woodbridge, St. Mark's. We'll have our downstate crew for that one on 302 Sports. We have Redline and Archmere as well Conrad versus Tower Hill. And we like to do this. We always like to play the game of mystery. The unofficial state championship tournament right now, if they were to seed it right now, we'd have AI DuPont and Del Mar, Milford and Tower Hill, DMA and Friends Woodbridge versus Conrad. AI DuPont at the start of the season, Jason, did you think at all they would get a home game in a tournament potentially?
I did not. No, I was not expecting that. They take the drop down to Division II, and they what helped them early was they had beat 2 Division I teams, yes. So that helps you get those high points. But we'll see how if they're able to hold it on. The surprise to me was St. Mark's. They were up in the 6th position last week. They take that loss to DMA, and they're quickly outside looking in with the likes of Howard and Archmere. So,
one thing I'm going to ask, this is for everybody on the panel. You're looking at these matchups that, again, unofficial. What matchup intrigues you? Starting with you, Jay. What matchup of those 4 intrigues you the most?
I would say Friends at DMA.
Yeah.
Because that's 1 and 2 in our poll, and it's a 6 and 3 matchup. I mean, he would have figured that, right?
Yeah.
The top 2 teams in the state meeting in the quarterfinals, possibly. I mean, that to me would be a game. Friends has got a good ground game. DMA has got a good ground game, and then we'll see what of those lines holds out, because they both have big, powerful offensive and defensive lines.
I'll toss this question up to you two as well. Which one of those 4 football matchups in the playoffs would intrigue you the most?
I feel like Jason's on fire tonight, so I'm going to stay with him. I've already taken one instance earlier, but I'm going to do it again. DMA and Friends. I mean, you see the line that DMA has, and obviously with a lean in the backfield, that's what he did against St. Mark's. They'll wear you down, and then he can break off a huge play anytime in the game. So I think that matchup between Friends and DMA, I think that'd be a real good one. I would like to see that.
I'm gonna, the risk of being different, I'm gonna say Milford versus Tower Hill.
Okay.
Tower Hill is a team that doesn't get a lot of respect, much like AI DuPont. Not a lot of people are giving AI DuPont a lot of respect. I give them love. I'm giving Tower Hill a lot of love. Milford, highly underrated. We're talking about a team that beat Woodbridge and then upset a team in Division I. This is a good Milford team. Interesting matchup there. A team that feels like maybe they're not getting enough respect versus another team that's like, hey, we're the underdogs here. 2 underdogs fight, only good things happen.
I want to see that AI Delmar game. Okay, Delmar's got a very specific system. They run a lot of misdirection and whatnot. It'd be interesting to see if that gives AI fits. And AI's the number 1 seed. Are they truly the number 1 team? They get a chance to prove themselves in this matchup right here. That would be interesting to see what AI can bring to the table.
We'll have to find out. We're moving on to Division I now, and well, it's been pretty much the standard bearer for the entire years. Middletown has been the best team in the state of Delaware in terms of high school football. We have Concord jumping in, St. George's Tech getting bumped out. Rough way for them to go through the season. Kind of had high hopes for them, but just could not finish off the season, Jason.
No, in their first year in that Flight A, I think they got overwhelmed when they started getting into that Flight A schedule. And unfortunately, they were not able to beat Concord on the road last week, and they fell to Concord, and Concord jumped back in there. But as you can see, the bottom couple teams all have losing records. I think it's a top-heavy Division I this year.
Yeah, you look at the score. Sally's defeats William Penn 35-21 in a game where William Penn actually played pretty well. Smyrna defeating Dover 54-21. Middletown getting the out-of-state win 27-14 over Upper Darby. Central defeating Poly 29-6. Concord defeating St. George's 35-21. Just a lot of interesting scores there, and both teams in our matchup coming off of a loss, hungry for wins.
Yes,
hungry
absolutely
for a win.
right.
It's going to make it for a good matchup.
Yes, it is.
And a lot of interesting stuff going on. Talking about Middletown, that out-of-state win. What point do we start talking about Middletown on a national level, Jason?
I think that helps, and I talk about this all the time. They were forced to play 8 conference games every year in the Flight A, and they always wanted to go out of state because they feel like when they faced the Slasianum or another team that played out-of-state teams in the tournament, that they were more battle-tested than the Middletown. So this is exactly what that Middletown program wanted, to go onto the road and beat an Upper Darby team that's a pretty good team, and you get it done on the road is an impressive win, and I think it only helps them come tournament time because, like you said, they've taken care of the two better teams in the state of Delaware already.
Yeah.
So now they get that out of state team. Now they start getting on that national level, and teams out of state start looking at Middletown and say, that team's for real.
You look at some of the matchups coming up. Number 2, Sally's visits Westminster, Maryland. They are 8-0. That's Friday night at 7. Number 9, Sussex Tech going to Smyrna Friday at 7. And then Newark, the Yellow Jackets got a tough one coming up. Visiting number 1 Middletown Friday night, 7:30. Nick, which one of those 3 matchups intrigues you the most?
For me, I'm going to say Sally's Westminster.
I agree.
Just because I like to see these out-of-state teams play, and I like to see how teams from Delaware, do against those top teams. And I think Sally's a pretty good team this year. And
yeah.
I'm excited to see how they're able to do from a team from PA.
Well, I said it before. There's only one team that I think really matches up well enough with Middletown to hold them. And that's Salesianum. That's the only team that's really been able to corral Middletown a bit. We'll see what happens there. All right. We did this with Division 2. We'll do it with Division 1 as well. The 302 Sports unofficial seeding for the tournament. Got some interesting matchups here. Are you dream matchups if you're a hardcore football fan? Middletown, we get the bye. Smyrna, we get the bye as well. We have Polytech and Salesianum. We have the Cinderella story.
Yes.
Polytech versus a team that's always there, Salesianum. It's kind of like if you're talking Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars fan. If you're talking Star Wars, you got the Jedi versus the dark side. Interesting matchup there.
Polytech would have nothing to lose. They come up here and get that Salesianum team. Then you can get that signature win in the playoffs.
That'd be incredible.
Round.
It would be incredible.
That'd be a great story for, like you said, Cinderella team. I think that matchup it would be interesting to see.
Yeah, bringing some parity to the state of Delaware in Division I football, which you don't really see that often, especially
Cinderella story, yeah.
The other matchup, first-round matchup, would be number 5 Hodson visiting Sussex Central. That game right there, that's one to keep an eye on. Okay, that's something to keep an eye on because the winner would move on to play number 2 Smyrna. Now, we saw Sussex Central play Smyrna earlier this year, and there was a little bit of tension towards the end of that game. Getting that rematch would be something to really keep an eye on. And look, let's not sleep on Hodson. No. They're playing great football right now, and they're a team that we need to keep an eye on as well.
And Hodson's only loss this year is to Sussex Central.
Yeah, right. So there's a rematch.
Right, and as you can see, there was a 4-way tie after Middletown. There was a 4-way tie, and the tiebreakers kind of situation, and that's why Sussex Central will get that home game against Hodson. So that head-to-head win always helps.
Plus, whenever you go upstate, downstate, or downstate, upstate, downstate games, interesting things can happen there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's what, as we talked about earlier, again, St. Mark's traveling to Woodbridge this weekend. Keep an eye on that game.
A lot to go over with. When we come back, we'll talk about our 302. We'll be live for that one. When we come back, we'll talk about our 302 Sports Spotlight Game of the Week. We talked about Polytech. They're taking on Dover. That's our 302 Spotlight Game of the Week. We'll talk about it coming up next on 302 Sports Week.
Too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvement's pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
Resource. Brian Hatley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hatley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hatley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com. Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night to watch your favorite teams and sports on our many TVs. It's a great, fun-filled environment that is kid-friendly. Our craveable food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings, which are the official wings of 302sports.com.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Benny Cannell, alongside Pat Garianis. And it's time to talk about our 302 Spotlight Game of the Week. Dover versus Polytech. Joining us on the set is Coach Rudy Simonetti of
That's
Dover.
Correct.
Having an Italian last
Tough name, I know.
We know. And Austin Fields Hatton joining us, the senior from Dover. Thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
So, Rudy, you're coming from New Jersey to Delaware. What's been the adjustment like?
It hasn't been that bad. Football's football. It's some great football played down here. I think the coaching down here is tremendous. All the teams come prepared, and our league especially is very competitive. They come prepared every week. And, to me, the transition's been seamless. It's just a great atmosphere for high school football down here, high school sports in general.
Austin, you guys, all right, the season maybe hasn't gone the way that you would hope it has, but you've been in a lot of close games, a lot of competitive football games. Is that what keeps you guys going as this season's finishing up? That we're right there, we're really close.
Yeah, every day we just we come in to get better each and every day. As a senior, I know that we don't get too many of these chances to strap on a helmet and go play our hearts out. So that's what we try and do every single week. Just play your hearts out. We gotta focus on finishing. That's number one.
Coach, as a head coach, it's got to be frustrating playing a lot of close games. Again, 2 scores swing another way. You have a 3-4 record. Is it frustrating as a coach to kind of have to go through games like that? And how do you keep your team motivated?
It is, but that's football. That's life. Unfortunately, those bounces didn't go our way, and we have to deal with it and regroup. And, just keep, like Austin said, coming to work every day. And it's like training for a job later on in life. You don't give up by going to work and giving up on your family, and that's what we're trying to instill in these young men here at Dover.
Austin, you've had your way the last couple of years against Polytech. You look at the scores, you've had your way. What do you guys think that is the key to keep that trend going this season?
We just gotta come out strong and play four quarters of Dover football. We have to every single chance we get, we have to just make the game simple. Play football. It's just like being home in the backyard when we were kids. We try to just come together. That's when you look to your left, look to your right, and look to your teammates, and know that you can get the job done with each other. That's what we play for.
Now, Coach, I know this is a rivalry game, but amid Polytech's success, I mean, they've had a very successful turnaround. What have you noticed that Polytech's doing better than they have in years past?
Just with this year, I mean, they've done a heck of a job. Coach has done a heck of a job over there. One thing I noticed with them when I turn on the film, man, is they all run to the football on defense, and they give maximum effort on offense and special teams as well. And those kids are bought in there, and that's the first thing that I see when I put them on film. They're a very solid football team. Obviously, hats off to Coach and the staff. They've done a heck of a job this year so far. For us, we just, I always say to the kids all the time, football is a game of which team can make the least amount of mistakes. And, over the past couple of weeks, we've cut down on penalties on both sides of the ball, and we haven't had a turnover in the past couple of weeks, especially last week for Smyrna. And, I just hope that on defense, we'll look to create some turnovers. And if we keep our mistakes down, we'll be all right.
Obviously, Coach Austin's one of your key players. Is there anybody else that we need to keep an eye on for this upcoming game for Dover?
Of course, Jordan McGee, our quarterback, number 13. Number 1, Javon Peace. Number 3, Eden Davis. Number 2, Gabe Evans. We're a young team. Injuries have forced us into some youth this year, unfortunately. We have a couple seniors playing for us now at this stage, and they're playing their hearts out for us. Darnell Kelly is a two-way lineman for us, as Naquan Peace. And Nadeem Bogarty, our captain, number 22, and Jaron Williams, our center.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for coming on the show. Austin as well, and good luck in your game against Polytech.
I appreciate it.
When we come back, we'll hear from Polytech on 302 Sports Weekly. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Good luck, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. Mr. Italian began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. Unique Storage opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus: wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique image, you envision, we create. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus: wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique Image, you envision, we create.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley: cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley: cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. I am your host, Benny Pinella, alongside Pat Garianis. And it's time to talk about Polytech, the Cinderella story of 2017. We have Coach Kevin Smith with us and Zion Downing, the senior. Thank you very much for coming on the show today.
No problem. Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Coach, no, it's an honor for us to have you. Of course, Dover as well. Thank you guys very much again for coming on the show. So, Coach Smith, you guided Polytech to its two most successful seasons before becoming the AD of Polytech. What made you want to come back to coaching football?
It was a tough year off. I really missed it, and Polytech gave me the opportunity to come back as a head football coach, and I'm very honored to be the coach, and I'm very excited with the way we turn things around in such a short period of time.
The last time prior to this season, the Polytech had won 4 games in a row. It was 2013. You would finish 5-5 that season. This year, you're 5-2. Both losses come into the hands of teams that are 6-1. Zion, what has been the secret to this turnaround? You've been on a team the past couple of years. What's different down there?
The players' attitudes. We come to practice every day knowing it's a competition for spots. We know that we play for a big prize every Friday night, and we come out and have our mindset, and we do what we got to do every day.
At the risk of overcovering a story, and it's been the talk of Delaware Polytech's turnaround, it's been kind of stunning to say the least. The Panthers have had some very difficult seasons, obviously. What's the message at the start of the season you gave this team that's led them to this successful record they've had?
Well, it actually started last year when we got back from Smyrna in Game 10. We met in January. Weight room open normally in January, and we just pretty much told them as a staff, it's on you guys. We have a great group of seniors. I think we have 18, 20 seniors that have been in the program, either starting or getting playing time for the last 3 years. And they've really held the team accountable themselves taking a lot of it away from the staff as far as accountability. They hold each other accountable. If they're doing something wrong, the senior leaders take care of it, which is nice to see. It's definitely great to see. We've struggled the last 2 years. I think we've been 1-19, and to see the seniors come back hungry and do what they've done is just amazing to see as a coach. It's pretty admirable.
Right, Zion, you got a tough one again this week playing Dover. What have you seen through your film study or just watching these guys? What do you see that could potentially pose you guys threats that you need to keep an eye on as a player?
Against Dover this week? Well, angles are essential. They have speed. They have a lot of talent on that side. We got to come out. We have the game plan perfectly, which our coaching staff does a great job every week of. We got to execute that game plan. Make sure we follow our reads. We got to do everything that a player is supposed to do and be coachable.
Zion, I'm going to go with you to this one. With a win Friday, potentially, you would have Polytech's first winning record in well over a decade. What does that mean to you as a player into the community of around Polytech?
It means a lot. We could bring something new to Polytech, something that people are not used to. People don't think of a football school when they hear Polytech. We could change that this year, and we can keep the tradition going every year after this. It's a big idea. It's a big deal. It's a very big deal.
So, Coach, I go to you with this one. Your opponent's Dover Friday night. Dover's a tough team. They've played some tough teams. We talked about it. A couple of scores. They have a 3-4 record. It's a different season for them. What are you looking for? What does Dover pose to you as a challenge?
Size, speed. When you put the film on and you watch them, I always talk to the kids about the eye test, and they definitely pass the eye test. With Peace running the ball, one of the most electrifying backs, not only in our conference but in the state. And I think he's only a sophomore, so that's scary. And then you have the quarterback who can throw the heck out of the ball, and then they're big up front. They fly around. The game's on turf.
Yeah.
So that helps their speed a lot. But I mean, we have speed too, and we have some good skilled kids, and I'm very, very happy with the way our skilled kids are playing this year. I mean, you can throw the records out the door. That's one thing in the short time I've been in Delaware. When you play the conference opponents, it doesn't matter the records. It's a battle every Friday. They weren't lying to me when I got hired that the Hooters of Newark is tough, and it is a battle every week.
Right, Coach, you talked about a couple of your skill guys being successful. Otherwise, other than Zion, who should we keep an eye on from Polytech this upcoming weekend?
Well, recently our hat's been off to the defense. Keeping CR to 6. We held Cape to 10, Laurel to 7. I mean, our defense is really, if you look at the last couple of years, the reason why we are successful this year is because our defense has really stepped up. We have four players. Zion leading the way with 95 tackles in 7 games. We have Chris Gordon, 86 tackles. Montrell Jones, 69 tackles. Michael Baker, 61 tackles. So our defense is really, really helping us out lately when our offense begins to stutter sometimes. Offensively, they're not brothers, but we have the Reeds, Tucker and Doug Reed. They have about 900 yards receiving, and they've done a great job. And Vincent Tascione, our quarterback, has really grown up this year from last year as a sophomore, first year starting to this year, and he's developed a really good leadership, throwing over 1,000 yards, and so we're excited about what we have, and we're excited. As Zion said, it's exciting to go to school every day. Mondays are fun now for the kids.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy for the kids. They deserve this.
Yes.
So.
A lot of exciting things happening for the Panthers of Polytech. Guys, thank you very much for coming on the show. Zion, Coach Smith, thank you again very much. It's our Spotlight Game of the Week. When we come back, Jason and Nick will rejoin us. We'll talk a little more about it coming up on 302 Sports Weekly.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley: cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. I am your host, Benny Pennell, alongside my co-host, Pat Garianis. We are joined by Jason Winchell and Nick Allison joining back in the set to quickly talk about Spotlight Game of the Week. Dover, Polytech. A lot to break down here. Polytech, the Cinderella story. Dover having a bit of a rough season, but they've played very tough. This is a Dover team that we have to really kind of keep our eye on because, as I said, 2 scores go the other way, Nick. This is a different Dover team. We're looking at a 3-4 Dover team that's playing pretty tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I saw Dover. I did their Dover St. George's game, and it was Dover took the lead with 3 minutes to go, and unfortunately not able to hold on to it at the end. But they're in every game, so it's going to be a dogfight, and I think it's going to be a really, really, really good game, and I think it's a good spotlight game of the week.
Yeah, I think I was impressed with both coaches and both players. I mean, very impressive young men. It's going to be a good matchup, right? Like Coach said, it's these divisional, these conference games, they always end up being played more tight than you might think. This game's going to be a good one to watch, without a doubt.
Now, of course, we don't pick the winners. You do on Twitter, at 302 Sports. Nick, you usually handle that, but seeing as you're here this week, of course, the fans, of course, can vote. I believe the poll has wrapped itself up, though. I think it was.
This one finished today.
Do we have numbers?
Yep, we got the numbers right here. Poll went up a couple days ago, but right now it closed, and we're looking at 61% Polytech. I mean Dover, 61% Dover, excuse me.
Picking the upset.
Yeah, picking the upset. Polytech. So a little bit, more different, a little bit of more in the middle than the ones we've been accustomed to these past couple weeks, and they didn't let us down. They were thrillers too, but I think this one's going to be along those same lines.
Again, interesting matchup because we have a Dover team that plays tough and a Polytech team that still just does not seem to get the respect that it has certainly deserved this season.
Yeah, it definitely is deserved. They're having a heck of a season. Like we said, 5 wins already for that program. I mean, that's pretty impressive this year. And like the coach said, they're doing it defensively. Their defense has been outstanding this year. And also, one game they beat Cape Henlopen and they blocked a game-tying field goal at the end. So their special teams is playing well too. So I think it's going to be a battle, and I think it's like Pat said, it's a Henlopen North battle. Yeah. Those games are always toss them up, pick them, as I said.
When we come back, of course, you can watch our Spotlight Game of the Week on our YouTube channel at 302 Sports. When we come back, though, it's time for the grand finale, Pat, talking about local colleges, local athletes, and, of course, we have our top 5 players of the week. It's up next on 302 Sports Weekly.
Too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
The Hadley is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jeff in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com. The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night to watch your favorite teams and sports on our many TVs. It's a great, fun-filled environment that is kid-friendly. Our craveable food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings, which are the official wings of 302sports.com.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. It is time for the grand finale, Pat. Let's talk about local colleges in Delaware.
We're going rapid fire here, Benny. We'll start it off once again, University of Delaware football. They celebrated homecoming in style here, and I know the guy back there running the cameras, your brother Vinny Pinella, celebrated homecoming in style as well, I'm pretty sure. But the football team, they did it this Saturday afternoon. The Blue Hens posted a thrilling 42-35 double overtime upset win over number 11 Richmond down at Delaware Stadium. Delaware now sits at 5-2, 3-1 in the CAA, and they won their third straight game, or their second consecutive win over top 25 opponent. The Hens went ahead on a 1-yard scoring dive by junior fullback Kenai Kane, formerly of Sussex Central, to open the second overtime, and the defense took it over from there. Now, there's one play that happened in this game that was just unbelievable. Ended up making ESPN top plays. Delaware junior wideout Jamie Jarman, formerly of Indian River, stole the show for the Blue Hens as he scored 3 touchdowns, including this 74-yard run late in the first quarter, in which he outraced a horde of Richmond Spiders down the right sideline. Actually, not quite yet. We'll get that video up in a second. Down the right sideline. 19-yard reception from junior quarterback J.P. Caruso just before halftime, and then a 5-yard run around the end with 10:06 left in regulation that tied the game at 28-28. Jarman rushed 4 times for 103 yards and caught 3 passes for 41 on his score that tied the game in the final quarter. He took the handoff from Caruso on a speed sweep around the end. He was hit at the 3-yard line, and as you're about to see on this clip, does a full flip into the end zone for the highlight reel touchdown. Ended up number 2 on SportsCenter top 10 plays of the week. I mean, he just completely goes airborne. Full front flip, unreal play. Delaware looks to make it 4 wins in a row as they travel to Towson to take on the Tigers this upcoming Saturday.
That was an impressive play, an impressive win for the University of Delaware Blue Hens, who look to make themselves a nationally known team.
I believe they're in the top 25 now, number 23.
Yep. At 23. We'll see if they can get that higher. Well, Delaware State University, they had a good weekend. Their defense highlighted a solid effort with 2 fourth-quarter interceptions to lead Delaware State to a 17-14 victory over South Carolina State in a MEAC contest at Alumni Stadium today. The victory snapped a 17-game skid for the Hornets. They won for the first time since defeating Howard 32-31 to end the 2015 season. It's been a rough time for the Hornets. They also ended a 12-game MEAC contest slide. Jihad Neibauer and Alexander Lozano led the Hornets with 8 tackles each, while Keon Selby had 6 tackles and 2 pass breaks from the contest. Delaware defensive back Xavier Wilcher notched his 2nd career interception. Delaware State begins a 2-game road swing at North Carolina Central next Saturday, October 28th at 1 p.m. in Durham, North Carolina.
Well, Benny, this one you might not like. You might not like this update right here. Number 14 Wesley College football team picked up their 6th straight win and a 34-3 NJAC victory at home over your Rowan Profs this past Saturday. The Wesley offense, Ben, is just going to continue to get worse for you. They recorded 444 yards of total offense. Wide receiver James Okike reeled in 8 passes from Khalik Burrows for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. Burrows was 22 of 29 for 269 yards and the 2 TDs. And also ran the ball 6 times for 29 yards. Running back E.J. Lee ran the ball 19 times for 108 yards to go with 3 touchdowns. Lee also caught 7 passes for 66 yards. The Wesley defense held Rowan to 214 total yards. Samir Mana led the way with a game-high 14 tackles. Mike Sabino, formerly of Lake Forest, notched 8 tackles. Isaiah Ingram and Stephen Yorkman both collected 7 tackles, with Ingram sacking the quarterback twice and picking up 2.5 tackles for loss. Stephon Woodruff of St. George's forced and recovered a fumble in the first quarter. Wesley will face Montclair State on the road this Saturday. How about them Profs?
Not doing too well right now. I believe they've lost 4 consecutive games. Their Profs aren't doing really well.
They're fighting Benny Pinellas, huh? They're not getting it done for you.
That's what happens when Benny graduates, I guess. All right, Wilmington University soccer, they're doing pretty well. 2 players earned weekly honors. We have Jessica, Unsehai. I hope that I said that correctly. I butchered that. For St. George's. My apologies. You can, of course, tweet to me at Benny on the radio. Players and rookies of the week scored 3 goals and 6 points. She scored a lone goal over their upset over number 6 nationally ranked Adelphi, and then scored twice against Concordia. So impressive week for her. We also have Kirsten Williams, not that tough of a name to talk about. Middletown 2-0. That was a record with 8 saves. Gave up 0 goals. She, of course, also turned away all 7 shots to blank. Adelphi. The Wildcats shut out Jefferson University yesterday, which means they are awaiting their CACC opponent from this next Tuesday's game. I believe
There you go. Now it's time. Let's talk about some Delaware collegiate athletes. Let's go down to NCA&T in their football team. Former Newark player Xavier Griffin has scores in the Aggies' last 4 games, and he had a TD catch for 71 yards, 10 yards, 14 yards, and 45 yards in their most recent game, a 24-20 win over Bethune-Cookman at Aggie Stadium. Impressive totals there by Xavier Griffin. He was a great player at Newark. I remember him back in the day.
Doing Delaware proud, but so is Salisbury Field Hockey's Tressie Windsor. Yes, the National Field Hockey Coaches Association has named the list of players selected to participate in the Victory Sports Tour's NFHCA Division III senior game, and she was named to it. The senior is on it. Salisbury's starting goalkeeper for the past 3 years currently stands second in the nation with a .63 goals against average. Think about that.
That's impressive.
Giving less than a goal a game in 2017, while ranking second in the nation with a .864 save percentage. Windsor has recorded 5 shutouts this year. The senior game will be played on Saturday, November 18th at Bellarmine University in Louisville, Kentucky.
Now let's head down to West Virginia here, Benny. First stop, Shepherd University. Sophomore running back Patrick Griffin, formerly of Sussex Tech, led the ground attack with 8 carries for 65 yards. Former Spartan, St. Mark's alumni, Debris Lally added 10 carries for 63 yards for the Rams. DJ Cornish from Felton, Delaware, and Lake Forest hauled in 5 catches for 66 yards and a TD.
That Rams team's just full of
Delaware.
It's
unreal, yeah. It is. It is.
Well, for West Virginia football, Will Greer's 5 touchdown passes, 3 went the route of David Sills, the nation's #1 touchdown man with 12 scoring catches. Coming into the game, finished with 7 catches, 136 yards, and an FBS leading 15 touchdown catches. Very impressive.
It is impressive. Now, of course, I'm coaching over at Del Castle. We have 1 player, alumni, that's playing in the NFL. That's for the Cleveland Browns. Brian Body Calhoun had 3 solo tackles to go with an assisted tackle and 2 pass defenses this past week for the Cleveland Browns, who are struggling. But Brian, he's one of the lone bright spots down there in Cleveland.
Hot in Cleveland, Brian Body Calhoun. All right, Players of the Week, Isabella Pearson, Tower Hill senior, 7 goals and 2 assists in her trio of wins. We also have Karana Lane. I mean, anytime you do a 250 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns, that's an impressive game. Fortunately, he did it against St. Mark's, but you know what? Congratulations, Karana. Congratulations, Isabella. Of course, Polytech versus Dover. Live from Dover is our 302 Spotlight Game of the Week. You can find that on YouTube at 302 Sports. Pat, it's time for our top 5.
It is. So let's get right into this one. Here we go. Number 5, Emily Jerome with a nasty kill to win the match for Padua. Just watch this one. Hey, Ben, I want you to watch this, and I want you to tell me if you would stand in front of this. Are you kidding me? That's unbelievable. Not. Jerome with a heck of a career in high school volleyball for Padua continues with that play.
The floor. Oh, this one's going to hurt. Karana Lane, number 4, 17 yards, traveled a little bit to do it, and also had to use some muscle, not just stiff arm. Goodbye, see ya. To the corner, touchdown. DNA 33, St. Mark's 21. That was painful.
Yeah, 1 of 5 on the night for Aline. The guy just makes plays, man. Him and Will Knight, they're very similar. Number 3, Garrett Million, his 64-yard TD run for Salesianum. This kid had quite the game against William Penn. And look at this one, through the middle. Whoop! That's a fullback, ladies. Look at that stiff arm. This is a fullback, ladies and gents. Look at him scoot. Look at like a tailback in this one. Goes all the way, and the extra dive for some flavor in your ear right there.
At the risk of being cheesy, he's worth $1 million.
That's it, man. Shout out Craig Mack. Number 2, Matt Tynes. Here you go. Here's Spartan love for you. Look at this interception. This kid is smart, too. Ivy League caliber student / football player. The pass here. Look at this catch. Right in front of me. You can kind of see me. No, you can't see me in the shot.
Unbelievable.
But he gets up, he says, "Are you not entertained?" Points to DMA saying, "Don't throw my way." Heck of an interception.
They didn't throw his way. They decided to run it. Eric Pilot, 64 yards on this one. It's impressive because this kind of comes out of nowhere. Look at this. Bing. Stiff arm. Goodbye. See ya. Gone. The Jets out of nowhere to the touchdowns. Love it.
Unreal. Well, there you have it. Another successful week. Another successful top 5. It's incredible what we were able to accomplish here at 302 Sports Weekly, and what kids have been able to do throughout the whole season. Has been top plays after top plays, fantastic plays all year.
We have to do our top 10 plays of the season. There's been a lot of.
We're gonna have to definitely do that at the end of each season, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Well, that does it for me and Pat. Pat, fun show as always, buddy.
Without a doubt, it was fantastic. And good luck to both Polytech and Dover this week in this 302 Sports Spotlight Game of the Week.
Peace out, y'all. It's been real. See you next week.